puzzles are lame. Let's be honest. Nobody likes pushing a bunch of giant boulders around until they hear that stupid jingle. So, let's just cut all the bullshit and get to the fun part, alright? What's that, you might be asking? Well, the fighting, of course! Hwah! Whatcha! Haha! This game is easy! Whenever you do something, I just need to react accordingly and punish every time. I have this fight downloaded! I have this game down to a science! I have this whole encounter solved piece by piece, like a puzzle. Wait, this is just a puzzle too? Well, yeah, as long as you consider a puzzle a problem you want to solve. And I'd say you want to solve that problem, right? Right? Oh, then what on earth makes this puzzle so boring and this puzzle so much fun? Ah, fuck, I forgot he did that. Well, this puzzle looks like this, sounds like this.
Oh, hey, you found a hat.
Which one? And feels like this. Whereas this puzzle looks like this.
Oh, he's
doing this! Oh!
Sounds like this.
Hey, wait a second. Stop. Oh, the music stops too?
Yeah.
That's so badass.
And it feels like this.
Let's fucking go!
And all this begs the question, why the fuck are you talking about video games? This is supposed to be a video about manga. Listen, random viewer, what I'm trying to do here is prove a point. It's not that puzzles are lame, it's that lame puzzles are lame. When you're in high school and being made to answer some boring-ass questions, your reaction is usually, who fucking cares, or whoever the fuck Pythagoras is, he definitely got no bitches. But when some puzzle comes your way that actually piques your interest, it's a whole nother story. Sorry about that. Right, but seriously though, like guessing the right way to react to a video game enemy, or guessing what your friend picked in I Spy. These moments of absolute correctness, given the limited information you have, feel amazing, and that's why so many people love staking their pride on these kinds of interactions all the time. The bigger the stakes on the puzzle, and the more you care about it, the better it feels when that rush kicks in, that you got it right. And this is what Cipher Academy feels like. Irohazaka is a stranger to everyone and everything around him. Not only does he not know a single person here, but he's just enrolled in a certain Cipher Academy, a school designed to teach the next generation how to encode and decode messages for when the next world war begins. The only reason he's here, though, is because it was free, and because he had nowhere else to go. Not to mention his... But everyone here is obsessed with this code shit. Even their very first assignment makes absolutely no sense. A crossword with hints that tell you absolutely nothing, but everyone in the class instantly understands what to do, but him. But then Iroha meets someone. A certain genius named Kogoe who Iroha, in a random act of kindness, hides from someone chasing her. As thanks, Kogoe gives him a pair of glasses that, as she puts it, make you look really wise. After Iroha puts them on, though, all of a sudden, the confusing codes from the crossword all seem to make sense, as the AR-enhanced glasses show him the right way to look at the puzzle. And as soon as that happens, he's hooked. Just like everyone else in the school, he starts seeing codes as something that can be used as a form of expression and as a form of competition. As you can imagine, in this code-obsessed school, where even the calf food is locked behind Morse code, everyone here doesn't solve problems in any normal ways. No. Instead of having a fist fight like two respectable high school students, they instead have code battles, where when one person wants another person to do what they want, they challenge them by presenting them a code and seeing if the other person can decipher it. Now, these kinds of puzzles, I won't lie. It sounds like it's gonna feel like, right? But oh no. Luckily for us, all the people in this school are clinically insane, and all have skill sets so absurdly constructed that they feel like fucking superhumans in their own right. It is absolutely a shounen thing to have every character be unique-ish, with an ability that challenges the main cast whenever there's a fight, or something, but very rarely does a manga feel like its characters are so diverse in their abilities and ways of going about a fight, because the idea of a code battle a battle where all you have to do is receive a message correctly, is so geniusly diverse in its execution that so many different weird skill sets, mindsets, or tools can make the fight engaging and help the characters succeed. Like this girl, who's insanely fast with her hands. When the group is tasked with having to build 3 jigsaw puzzles that have all been mixed together, she just solos the whole building process in like no time flat. Easy. This girl has a mask that perfectly hides her face from betraying any emotion, and thus, in a game of poker, she literally has a perfect poker face. And this motherfucker is so good at spelling and speaking with a reduced amount of the Japanese syllabary that she can perfectly conduct an interrogation that is so scarring, it causes her opponents to straight up get PTSD from how much it hurt them mentally. Her title is the Trauma Producer. How much more fucking metal can you get? And the way all this loops into the fights just feels so genius and awesome, since the interpretation of language can be so fickle. Just when you think there's no funny business in a competition or any loopholes in the rules, someone always finds a way to create some insane outcome that feels like the craziest shit of all time. This happened to the point where the level of hype I felt reading this comic book was a feeling only JoJo's motherfucking Bizarre Adventure could compare to. I'm not joking, it is that hype. But what does that even matter if the characters can't keep up? After all, it doesn't matter how cool their fights are if I don't give a shit about what happens to the characters in them. But that's the thing. This manga has intoxicatingly well-designed characters around every corner, to the point where even if we pick a random character, we can know exactly what their deal is, like, oh, yeah, she's that bitch, isn't she? But beyond the simple eye test, all these characters seem to have some level of depth to them that makes their actions feel justified, and also makes it so that when they grow closer, it really all fits together, because everyone impacts everyone else in some way. Like with Kyora and Irohazaka. Kyora starts off as this huge, bossy-ass bastard who literally has 2 lackeys that call her Miss. And in the beginning, she's basically bullying Irohazaka, because, I mean, well, look at him. At first, this looks like some savage shit, where Iroha might literally have to become this lady's manservant for the entire rest of high school. I promise it's not a hentai. But then we get to understand her character more. Her and Irohazaka start working together on more projects and start to get to know each other better, and we learn, while Kyora is certainly a hard ass, she's not really an evil person. You see, despite being the top #1 student in the entire school, she still takes cues from others and learns how to better herself regularly. So why was she so mean to Iroha in the start? Well, here's the thing. While she may have been mean to him, she believed she was saving him from a fate much worse by doing things the way she knew best. Because while she might seem like a bitch, Kogoe is a monster. Somewhere hidden in the depths of Cipher Academy lies a vault containing 50 billion morgue, a cryptocurrency whose value increases the more wars are happening in the world. While we can't be certain the exact value of this hoard, we know that it's something to the tune of times the amount of money circulating on the planet today. This amount of money is so incomprehensibly huge that it's essentially capable of doing anything, and it's Kogoe's job to get to it. That's why she gives the glasses to Irohazaka and keeps tabs with him and a lot of his other classmates who she's giving similar devices, and Kogoe is always saying all sorts of shit to pretty much whoever, and whenever something leaves her mouth, you never quite feel like you can trust it. Clearly, she is manipulating everything here. And to what end does she want the morgue? We don't really know. But we do know, if Kyora is to be believed, Kogoe getting that money could easily double the amount of wars on the planet right now. But Kogoe is not the only one who wants that money. You ever wonder why so many insanely talented people all ended up here in this one place at this one time? It's because a lot of them want that money, and I mean, who the fuck wouldn't? Anyone with that amount of money could kick back and relax for an eternity, but none of these characters are that boring. From some of them wanting to pay bail for themselves as an escaped prisoner of war, to some of them being anonymity requested who we have no fucking idea what her deal is, to wanting to build a tomb large enough for every single person on planet Earth. It's a great hook with plenty of motivation for all these characters to latch onto. And let me tell you, Some of the character backstories are fucking insane. I can't say too much without spoiling it, but Iroha as a main character is such a happy, chill guy who everyone loves, and that's great and all. But when you find out what this kid has been through, it makes a smile you see every chapter mean so much more. It really makes you wonder who the hell could write so many compelling characters and character designs that are all so special in their own odd way, who like, oh, it's that guy. I fucking knew it! And if this is all true, then what the hell's the problem here? You're not stupid, you read the title, and you know how this is going to end up. Well, here's the thing. While yes, the characters are amazing and all, they didn't have that much time to grow, given that Cipher Academy only went for 58 chapters, despite feeling like a series that could have went for hundreds. And while those fights and codes that got their messages through to me were simply electric to read, sometimes things get lost in translation. So, right off the bat, if you aren't familiar with who Nisio Isin is, then I should do a quick introduction. Nisio Isin is a light novel writer behind many works that have been popular, but standing above all the rest is the Monogatari series. This light novel, when adapted into an anime, was very polarizing in nature. Lots of people loved what was happening on the screens, though, glued to it to see what exactly is going to happen next in this mystery show about the supernatural, where, more often than not, the monsters are the people in it. But the thing about Monogatari is, its writing is very obtuse. It rarely ever says something to you straight up, like, this guy is a good guy and this guy is a bad guy. Unless it's being ironic in some way, which is the point, because it's a parody of similar types of books and anime. This made the whole thing for a lot of people just feel weird, and they couldn't really vibe with it because nothing really made too much sense. But in reality, nothing in Monogatari is meant to be taken at face value. You, the reader or watcher, are meant to question the reason for everyone saying the things they're saying, no matter who it is, whether it's Araragi's most trustworthy friend, arch-nemesis, or even himself. No one is all truly black or white. And that's a good thing. That's how you write characters that have depth and feel like they're actually people. And this doesn't necessarily mean every character is out to get each other, it just means they won't tell you exactly what they're thinking when they're thinking it. Or in other words, they aren't just going to spoon-feed you every thought they have. Instead, it becomes a little thing you get to figure out yourself, where when someone does something out of character, it's not because the plot needed them to, it's because they've either hidden something from you, or they've grown and changed as a person. The way Monogatari does this with its characters is something that works very well in a novel's context, because those who are reading a novel are patient. And while watching a show, the pace and delivery of the information can be carefully pieced together by a director so that it doesn't feel too boring. But when reading a manga, which flashes by your eye as quickly as you want it to, people might not care to pick up on that kind of information. People reading a novel are in it for the long haul, which is why writing tricks like this work so well in that medium. But when you write characters like that in a manga, a sort of rift begins to appear. A sort of clashing of genre, which... What? Did you think I was gonna say it sucks? Fuck no! It doesn't suck. I love that all the characters are written this way, but do you really think all the manga readers want to deal with that? Cipher Academy as a manga was published in Shonen Jump Weekly, which is one of the most competitive places a manga can be. And if you think about the people who are buying this magazine, it's people who want to read a lot of manga all of the time. Now, manga as a medium is beautiful and wonderful, don't get me wrong, but it's also the kind of media that is the most fast-paced out of the big three I've mentioned thus far. And so when manga is being written in a way that makes you want to think like a novel would, then most people aren't going to bother putting the brain power into it. And just to be clear, I'm not saying these people are stupid or simply can't understand the genius of the art. It's more so that they shouldn't be expected to, because that's not what they came here for. They came here for Naruto, Boruto, Bleach, etc., right? It's like if someone told you should buy Death Stranding for the package delivery part of the game, and neglected to tell you about the 11 feature-length films you had to watch too! Sure, for some people that's what they want, but a lot of people are like, man, fuck this shit. I'm going back to Splunky, the best package delivery game. Here you go, Ardler. And I can already hear you saying, Wazdi, there are plenty of popular stories in manga that aren't spoon-feeding you every little thing, you know? And yeah, I'd agree. Most well-written stories are gonna be like that. And characters aren't going to tell you every single little thing on their mind. You are right, but a style of writing that focuses on that is only the first part of our problem. Puzzles are not lame, but only if you actually have a stake in them. You see, I may have lied to you in this video just a little bit. The fights, they're definitely hype, but sometimes you have to suspend your disbelief a little or a lot for them to feel like that. Granted, I think you have to do this in all manga and anime to a certain degree, because believe it or not, no, this shit isn't real. Despite this, I feel like Cipher Academy does an excellent job of setting up for these moments, so they don't feel as insane as they could, kinda like in JoJo fights. Like, I do not know what the fuck is gonna happen most of the time, and while I can understand the basics of each person's abilities, I still can't actually understand what it's like to have a giant buff ghost do everything I want him to, as much as I wish I could. But when I watch the fight, my brain still goes, damn! That person got fucked up! Because at the end of the day, it's still a fight. It has that visceral life or death type of feeling to it. But in Cipher Academy, sometimes it's harder to get that feeling in certain fights, because you need to suspend your disbelief in a completely different way. You have to genuinely feel that these people stake a part of themselves on these puzzles, and you have to really put yourself into their headspace. And while for me, it took me on an insane roller coaster of emotions, I don't think it really could for others who simply don't care to think about it that much. And another thing that doesn't really help is if you ever wanted to try solving these little puzzles and ciphers on your own, well, good fucking luck! While you might be able to kind of figure out how a character will use their special trait, usually it's just not possible for you to guess the actual ciphers, because you, the viewer, probably don't practice ciphers in your spare time, and neither do the readers of Shonen Jump Weekly. Now, for how much I've just ragged on this series, I don't really think not being able to understand the codes takes away too much from the experience, but I see how it would for many others. To me, these are beautiful puzzles which I can't comprehend, and I'm getting to see some genius crack the case. When they do, I feel the secondhand rush that they do from their own completion, and I love it. But the only way you can feel that is if you're invested in the characters, and most people just simply couldn't get into that, leading to the whole manga getting axed after 58 chapters. This is why the only other complaint I have with the series is how the last arc feels very rushed, with the characters moving together in ways that feel like they should have had more time to be fleshed out, but I can't really fault the series that much, because it's likely they knew the end was nigh and never really had a choice. And the ending we got definitely wasn't the worst. But in a world with so many vibrant characters, and one of the sweetest guys in a manga of all time at its head, with so much more that had yet to be unresolved, it's really a tragic thing that this manga had to end so early. Which brings me to the last thing I wanted to say. I randomly saw from somebody on Twitter this link that went to a website that gave me a very small bit of hope of maybe seeing a series I really liked getting turned into an anime by voting for it. And I thought, well, this manga is probably in all ways, shapes, and forms doomed forever. But on the off chance this makes some more people find Cipher Academy and they enjoy it as much as I did, then that'd make me kinda happy. And guess when the deadline for that was? It was the 4th of March. Yeah, I'm kinda slow at editing, but my point still stands. The more people who find this manga, the better. And who knows, maybe someday we'll even get a sequel. Yeah, no fucking shot. Oh well, even if it's only precious to few, that doesn't make it any less precious. Anyways, I've been Wazdi, and thank you for sticking through to the end. Stay tuned for next month when I release a 13-hour documentary about why Kaiki Deshu is the best character in Monogatari, and also the hottest.